Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, we're going to talk about Mark Rippetoe's article called Bad Advice About High Reps. More specifically, Mark speaks about in this article how 10 rep sets are not an efficient way to build strength. Before I get into this topic, if you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. Come on over, submit your questions. The best questions I turn into videos just like this. All right, so a lot of people have been talking about Mark Rippetoe lately, and I had a gentleman bring up this article, so I thought it would be a good video to discuss. Because when somebody reads an article like this, they get confused. They think, oh my God, 10 rep sets are not an effective way to build strength, and therefore they're not going to build muscle. So I have to do what Mark Rippetoe says. So I'm going to address the information in this video. Then I'm going to present you with what I think, and you guys can move on along with your life and do whatever you feel is best. So I have a few bullet points that I wrote down on this handy-dandy notebook I'm going to read to you from the article, and you can find it on Starting Strength. Again, the name of the article is Bad Advice About High Reps by Mark Rippetoe. Now, the first point Mark brings up is that doctors will tell you to use lighter weight and higher reps. The second point I want to talk about is that Mark says that heavy 5 rep sets make you stronger than heavy 10 rep sets. And lastly, the third point I want to talk about, and this is a direct quote from the article, Mark says sets of 10 are not just inefficient for building strength, they are counterproductive in many ways. So what Mark here is telling you is that he sets the table by telling you your doctor tells you you should probably switch to lighter weight and higher reps as you age. And then Mark says that heavy 5 rep sets make you stronger than heavy 10 rep sets. And the final point is that 10 rep sets are not an efficient way of building strength. So the first point, doctors will tell you to use lighter weight and higher reps as you age. This is actually good advice from a doctor, and I'm going to explain to you why. I'm a 50-year-old lifter. I've been lifting for 32 years, and I can tell you, as somebody that started at the age of 18, if you reach that super strong level like I did, and you continue to pound on your body, you're going to pick up a lot of joint issues and strains and pains and maybe injuries. So as you age, you need to become smarter, and you need to incorporate probably more higher rep sets with lighter weights. This doesn't mean you need to switch exclusively to higher rep sets and lighter weights. And lighter is relative, because if you bench 350, you might be doing 10 rep sets with 225 or 245. So lightweight is relative. Let's establish that. But I wouldn't recommend, after you reach that super strong level, going hard and heavy every single week. You probably need to do some form of nonlinear periodization where you go heavier one week and then the next week a little lighter and do volume work, etc. So I would kind of err on the side of the doctor here as an experienced lifter who's been hitting it for a long period of time. You need to back off in some way while still maintaining your strength as you age. This doesn't mean that you never use heavy weight, but you probably need to use the doctor's advice and train a little bit smarter. The second point Mark makes is that heavy 5 rep sets make you stronger than heavy 10 rep sets. Now here I want to put a caveat. If you are the top 1% of 1% and you are the power lifter that's trying to go from a 1,600 pound total to an 1,800 pound total, it makes a lot of sense to use lower rep sets, because lower rep sets will, for that advanced lifter, help you build strength. But for 99.9% of us who are just trying to get to a 400 squat, a 500 deadlift, and maybe a 325 bench press, for those of us that are just trying to get to those, what we consider strong lift numbers, this advice is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous because if you look at all the guys that have built strength, like all the bodybuilders, and I've spoken to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who have reached a good strength level over the years. Most of them bodybuilders, most of them, muscle heads. They did so using conventional rep ranges, 6 to 10, 6 to 12, 6 to 15, whatnot. So they're right around the 8 to 10 rep range for most things, and they built an incredible amount of strength. So for the average person that is not the elite power lifter trying to nickel and dime 20 pounds and get up to a 425-pound bench press, 10 rep sets are just as effective for building strength as 5 rep sets. They are just as effective. They are just as effective. Now, there could be some pocket calculator science nerd out there pulling out a couple studies and saying that there's been shown that this, that, and the other thing, and that could be viable. But for the average person like me and you, who's just trying to get strong, if you look at things over the course of the long run, if you're training with a good exercise selection, using progressive overload and training wisely, if you look at things over a 3, 4, 5-year period of time, you're going to build a lot of strength using the 8 to 10 rep range. You're going to build all the strength you want. You're certainly not going to be extremely weaker than the guy using 5 rep sets. Even assuming the science was on the side of 5 rep sets, you're not going to be that much weaker. We like the science nerds, the guys with the pocket calculators, like to break out the numbers and point out studies, and they scare you into thinking that if you use this method, which they consider inefficient, compared to their method, which they consider efficient, that the gap is going to be super wide over the course of 3, 4, 5 years. And while the 5 rep set guy is benching 375, you'll only be benching 275 because you made bad decisions. The gap is not that wide. The gap is not that wide. The gap might be trivial. We're talking 5 to 10 pounds max. But here's the thing. The thing studies don't take into consideration is right here, the head and the heart of the lifter. If you go in and you are doing everything correctly and you are training hard and you have the drive, all this crap isn't going to matter. Because I know for a fact, because I have met so many top-level lifters, experienced lifters, and it didn't matter what program they were on, they all got super strong. So unless you are an elite-level power lifter, the niche of the niche, trying to gain 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds on your 650-pound squat, low rep sets, they simply aren't anything you probably will ever need, and I'm talking about sets under 5. So the point here is that Rippetoe's point is heavy 5 rep sets make you stronger than heavy 10 rep sets. You know, for the average lifter who just wants to get strong and build a lot of muscle, maybe you want to get super strong, you can do that with 10 rep sets. That's my opinion based on what I've seen in 32 years in the gym. Now finally, Rippetoe says, and this is an exact quote, sets of 10 are just not efficient for building strength. They are counterproductive in many ways. I find this to be an extremely laughable point. I find this to be absurd. I find this point is completely ridiculous. There are just too many lifters that I've seen over the course of my life that have built an incredible amount of strength using conventional bodybuilding style rep ranges, which are around the 10 rep range. In my travels over the last 10 years in this industry, I have seen everyone from Mr. North Carolina to Mr. Minnesota. I've interviewed all the guys, all the bodybuilders and all the powerlifters, and almost all of them built their strength base using conventional bodybuilding or conventional rep range style training. A lot of guys got into powerlifting. A vast majority of guys got into powerlifting after they built a good amount of strength using conventional rep ranges. The idea, the notion that 10 rep sets are inefficient for building strength scares people into thinking that if they use 10 rep sets, that they are not going to get strong at all. And there's so many counterproductive, that's what Rippetoe said. This is absolute nonsense. I am not sure where he's getting this from, but I will tell you, in my opinion, this is a big pile of horseshit, so you need to ignore it. Unless you are the 1%, an advanced, super strong power lifter, and you're trying to squeak out 20 pounds on your already 420-pound bench press, all this stuff is nonsense. This stuff is framed for the super elite power lifter, which is really kind of interesting given that Mark Rippetoe's program is starting strength for novices. So, That's my opinion. You can drop your opinion below. Let me know what you think about 10 rep sets for the average individual. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.